When you end-to-end test your sites with Playwright, the first question to answer is, how do you locate elements on the page? You could use the general locator function, or set test IDs, or maybe go for get by text, or even go for the very verbose option get by role button, providing an accessible name. Which one should you use? I prepared a quick spec file that includes 4 test cases that all do the same thing. They locate a button, they click it, and then they expect it not to be visible. But they all use a different locator. And here's the page in question. It's just a button, and when we click it, there will be the message, welcome, but most importantly, the button will be gone. When we now run these test cases, they will be all nicely green, but let's discuss some advantages and disadvantages of all these locators. The first locator matches elements with the CSS class CTA. And while this works, this is testing and implementation details. So when we change now this class here, and we will rerun our test cases, our tests will break. And maybe a developer won't even notice that they're breaking the end-to-end tests right now. And that's why the Playwright docs pretty clearly state that it's not recommended to rely on CSS locators, because this is testing implementation details, and it's better to test user-facing behavior. When we now look at the second test case, get by text is very clearly user-facing, isn't it? Unfortunately, matching elements by text isn't covering the entire user experience. If we go back into our HTML, we could now change the button here to be a div. And if we now check the page, everything might look like it's still working. But actually, we just broke some things, and our test won't notice it. Our button now looks like a button, but actually it's just a div, and it's not keyboard accessible. Screen readers and assistive technologies cannot navigate to it. Bots crawling the sites won't understand that this is an actual button. So this is now broken user experience, and get by text just won't cover it. When we now go back and run the tests, we will discover that our get by text test will be passing. Get by role, on the other hand, will complain because our button isn't an actual button anymore. And the Playwright docs are, again, pretty clear about it. You should only use get by text when you want to match non-interactive elements like divs or spans. And I personally only use get by text when I cannot reach an element with get by role, or I'm unable to set test IDs. Which brings us to the last option. Of course, you could always set test IDs in your application code, but be aware that you're then going away from testing user first. In this case, this would mean whenever something is off with this string here, click me, let's say this is now just me, the test will still pass because the test ID is there, the element will be matched, but we're missing out on a user-facing issue. So every locator option comes with trade-offs, but generally testing user first should be the preferred way to go.